So the time is 12:43, and as usual, once in a while, the voice that you're hearing right now is not that of Upper Mariam Mia, but it's mine, Salailo Makwidiri, producer of the show, and once in a while, we'll be doing these kind of segments where I'll be chatting to Upper Mariam here about some of the topics that she has a little bit of more knowledge than us, the average folk, about. And this week, I think the topic on everyone's lips and it's been trending throughout the whole of social media, WhatsApp groups, Twitter, Facebook, news websites. It has been the issue of traveling and the hello darlings debacle of people being swindled, all kinds sorts of monies, and with hopes of going to holiday and going to these beautiful, amazing travel destinations around the world. And Abba Miriam here, she's an avid traveler of note, and she's had a really awesome segment on one of the shows Friday nights. It was called Al Musafir, where she was basically giving advice on how to go about planning for your next trip, how to prepare for it, all the logistics, the paperwork that you might need, travel agencies, what kind of travel agency you should go for. And I think it's only right that she gives us a bit of information about how to travel safely, how to plan properly, especially when you'll be spending a lot from your savings. How can you go about finding a reputable travel agency if you're looking for one, bookings, and all the nitty-gritties that go about traveling the right way. Salam Zaba, how are you?
Walaikum salam, Salailo. Doing well. Yes, different to be on the other side of the mic, so to speak. But excited, travel is my passion. During the lockdown, I became more of a armchair traveler, and also travel has changed since we knew it prior. I mean, since I used to do the Al Musafri segments, and before my motto was have passport, can travel, but the way we travel and how we travel, and also there are more risks now in post-COVID times when we travel, and additional documentations that and also we have to be updated with change of situation and that. So yes, I still would like to travel, but also it's now a lot more Edmund related to travel than the past. And
Mm,
then last week also showed us, well, the danger of online or digital traveling, or then planning your holiday based on what you see that has been marketed by people you follow, by the influencers, and then booking through third via different parties as well. So I think that was your concern, is then how do we then plan for our holidays without being scammed?
yeah. I think let's get right into it. How does one go about planning a holiday properly? What are some of the telltale signs you should look out for in your planning when it comes to bookings, and whether or not you want a travel agency? Just lay it down for us. As someone who's traveled avidly, how do you go about it to make sure that you have that experience you've always dreamed of?
So, first of all, I think my view of traveling is, and I think we should have this view of where we want to go and how we want to go, not based. I think also what has changed in the past 2 or 3 years is watching social media influencers, bloggers, uh, going to places, and we get captivated at the moment because those glossed up pictures or those videos. Um, then create this atmosphere that I wish I was here, because they're having uh, a lovely time against a backdrop of azure blue waters, or in the luxury of a 10-star hotel with all the mod cons and all uh, the luxuries of a lifestyle, alternate lifestyle, a lifestyle of the wannabes to share in the the playground of the billionaires. So I think that entices us, and many that have booked have been influenced by what they seen based on what was posted. And for me, I mean, when you travel, the first thing is you should look at a country and say, why would I want to go there? Why do I want to spend my money here? What interests me there is the culture. I'm a beach person, a mountain person. I'd like to hike up this mountain. If you're into diving or snorkeling, you're researching dive sites, you're getting opinions from people who've been there, that have reported on the experiences without being marketed or advertised. They get paid to do it. So when you travel, I think that's what needs to inform your decision of your destination is, what is the interest for me there? Why would not because I'm influenced because somewhere looks nice because somebody is posted it, but you know what? I've always loved mountains and I want to visit Machu Picchu, and I'm interested in archaeology. Or if you're a beach person like me, I love to travel. So I've been blessed that I've made sure from Port Owen Marina right up to Shai Shai in Mozambique. I've been blessed to travel along that whole coastal route, making a note of the beautiful coves there, quiet beaches, water temperature, just the community around those seaside resorts and things like that, because that's what I enjoy. I like to visit places that's off the beaten track, where I can get where you have beaches to yourself and things like that. So these are my interests. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I'm interested in history and in culture. So when I visited Jordan and Palestine, I mean, it's rich in culture. When you visit Palestine, for me, it's walking in the footstep of the prophets. In there, it's a very, you can just feel that ancient. I visited Yemen, and I was very interested in the whole architecture, especially those forts before cities were enclosed with those huge iron fort gates. And for me, it's touching history. I think about people who were 3 centuries, what
Mm.
their lives must have been like. They even visiting India, going to Delhi, seeing the Mughal Empire, the architecture, how they came from the Babylons, and they entered there. They conquered, so to speak. They changed, way of civilization. If you look at Europe as well, Roman bath, so to speak, that came from Islamic history in terms of bathing and things like that. So for me, I'm also interested in history. So that's what informs my decision to travel. And I think the first uh, point of call should be, when you decide to travel, is also have a family conversation. Ask the children what are their interests now when they're
Mm.
growing up. Include that. So the first thing is, why do I want to visit there? And it shouldn't be based on some influencer planning there, and then you show the family, oh, look how lovely this so and so person looks like they're having a really fantastic holiday, loving the life, so to speak. They've arrived, things like that. It should be because what you'd like to do. So my first advice is, um, where you'd like to go based on your own research, based on your likes, your interests, your passion. So create your own bucket list. So number one, create those bucket lists for yourself, and don't be influenced. Be the influencer for the family as well, and advocate why you should be traveling there. Salilo, can you hear me?
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. I'm still here. So, firstly, I think the most important part is let it be a personal decision of why you want to travel. If I'm hearing correctly, it should not be the issue of you saw this influencer or that influencer on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and now you want to do what they did. It should be a personal choice and should be something of interest to you or your family. And I think that's a really great point. But now I want to get into like the logistical part of planning a
Okay.
trip. Let's
So,
say, for
yes,
instance, yeah, I think that's the
travel
most
is
important
expensive.
part that
Travel is
the
expensive,
viewers want to hear.
and yes, travel is expensive, and I mean, it takes maybe years of saving, you create a side hustle, so that you can start planning for your dream vacation in it. And that's why I sympathize for those that have lost their money through this, because really travel is connected to an emotional experience, a yearning, especially if you're going. And I think that's what makes this all the more difficult. Is there's you know what, it was a yearning, it was building yourself up, it was the
Mm.
effort of saving in here. But what I do is, once I know where I'd like to go, I actually then I come on the mailing list to like major airlines as well, that travel to the destinations where I'd like to go. So I always, and what I do is, another tip is, set yourself up a Gmail account, or uh, uh, in the cloud account, so to speak, so that when you receive these marketing information, you're not bombarded with your normal work email. So even if you're using for for your own work purposes, in the cloud account or free email account, have a separate account that you could just, call it even Mia dot travel at gmail.com. Because then when you feel, I've got enough, I'm looking for traveling, or then during the weekend you want to catch up on the mail and what's happening and what's on special, all that information is there. So number one, set up a alternate travel, so to speak, even if it's a family account and everybody has access to it, because um, reputable, registered holiday tour operators, holiday companies, booking companies, airline companies are always advertising specials on various destinations. So then it would appeal to you to say, hey, this airline is having a really, really reasonable price if you book within a certain time period. And then maybe you could then just tap in and book directly with a reputable airline. But what I do then is, if I see this before, because sometimes also when you book online, it's more reasonable than if you book with the airline via telephone, or you go to the offices, or then you book with a travel agent. But the most important thing is, when you're booking those tickets, you need to read the cancellation policy, because you get enticed by a lower airfare, but then they might say there's no refund or cancellation of this ticket, or cancellation will incur various penalties, especially in post-COVID times. You need to protect yourself, so you need to be very clear that if you allowed a change due to maybe South Africa being red flag for whatever reason. I mean, the Omicron variant came, and we were red flag, especially those that were traveling to certain destinations, especially also with Hello Darling. Some of the problem is that you had to move your travel, because South Africa was then put on uh, travel company. They IATA approved, or they belong to some sort of regulatory body as well. And then the big question you need to find out in today's day: what are your cancellation policy? Is there a cost incurred for cancellation? How easy it is? Will you get 100% refund, or will then you'll be able to do a alternate dates? So this is of the airlines, because people have been struggling to get refunds with airlines as well. So if you look at consumer pages like hello peter.com or other, just go on the internet. So it's not only being scammed, but also having difficulty getting refunds, or companies will tell you, uh, will advise you that they offer insurance, travel insurance, should you if you are unable to take your trip for various reasons or whatever. So take out travel insurance or travel protector. For that, they will advise you that, these insurance are compulsory in our certain countries. I know Maldives, you had to take out insurance in case you were tested uh, COVID positive and you needed to then extend your stay. That travel insurance was compulsory. There was various categories of travel insurance. So important when you see reasonably priced tickets, or whether it's accommodation offers in that, check this against the cancellation policy. Because even on a popular booking website like bookings.com or Gouda, or one of these websites, when they're running specials, it's clear that there's no refunds available. So you need to check what are the cancellation policies before you book, and also is it a company of repute, registered, and always see, even if you're booking online. I know airlines have a call center where if you have a problem once you booked online, you can call the call center. Major booking companies have a call center. I know I've used them successfully on occasions where I needed to change travel dates. Although the international companies, you dial a local number, you speak to somebody at the call center, they're there to assist you. So make sure you have a backup where you can physically speak to somebody, and there is a dedicated call center should things arise there as well. So it's very important. And also,
Mm.
don't just take it for granted. If you're paying for your flights or accommodation via credit card, you get this free insurance. Call your banker. Call your banker, ask him, I'm going to be paying with my credit card. What insurance do I qualify for? Can you get me this? Call Euro Assessor. They tell him, I've paid for this. What do I qualify? I'm in a foreign country. How do I access this? So often also we purchase insurance, but then we don't find out the steps. So we just it's we feel the sense of security. Oh, I'm covered. But if in an event of an emergency, who do I contact? How do I access them? You might not have Wi-Fi. Where do I do this? Do I send an email? How quick the response will be? What am I covered for? Hospitalization, maybe airport delays, maybe of airports. Currently in Turkey, there was a blizzard 2 days ago. The flights were not going into Turkey due to the snow and blizzard. It has since reopened. A certain, I know, Emirates 2 or 3 days ago, for 24 hours had not flown into Turkey due to the blizzard. So it's not only being scammed, but inclement weather can also delay the day you're traveling. What is your recourse if you've taken this insurance? How do you access this? So these are all the questions you need to do. What travel requires due diligence, and it takes a lot of research. Even if you've booked package holidays, you need to get information. Don't take it for granted. I've went to a flight center, they've sorted out my flights by holiday, I'm having a stress-free holiday. Because if something does go wrong, how easy it is to get hold of them, and the time frame in terms of the issue being resolved. And another important fact is all correspondence with your relevant booking agents, with the airlines, with the if you contact the hotels, please, you need to keep a log of them, a paper trail of them who you have corresponded. Because if you're at a hotel and you've corresponded with somebody, it's easy there. I was in Thailand, I booked certain room categories, I confirmed directly with the hotel management. When I came there, eh, nothing was as I had explained to them. Fortunately, I had a log of my emails. So immediately I asked, politely asked the lady at reservation, can I speak to your manager? And there were too many people around me, and I said I wish to discuss this matter privately. I was done. I spoke to the hotel manager. I had proof there, so I said, please, I have been in communication. Who is responsible for this? Because everything has been confirmed. I'm not getting what I paid for, and I'm tired. I've just taken an early morning flight. Can you sort it out? I'm giving you half an hour. And they were very apologetic because I had the evidence, and we all got upgraded to suites because they took responsibility. So you have this. I was in Pakistan, and I written to Etihad Airways that we were traveling for a function, and could they be generous and give us an additional baggage allowance, which they gave. Leaving South Africa, I had my baggage stubs with me. They allowed me a certain amount of bags. Coming back at the airport in Pakistan, they refused. They said it's not on your ticket. I would have to pay, I think it was $100 additional for that extra bags if I want to take them. Fortunately, again, I pulled out my correspondence with Etihad South Africa, the manager there. I pulled out my baggage tabs to say I left South Africa. Here's X amount, a piece of luggage. Here's all the things. It was praying time. I told them we're going to pray now. We're coming back. When we come back, hopefully it's being resolved. I mean, prayed for this to be resolved as well during our prayer. When we came back, they contacted the South African office, got resolved. That's because I have a paper trail. So please, you need to have a paper trail when you're dealing with this, and have it there. Print out copies, or now it's easy, store it in a separate folder in your phone. So these are little traveling tips for if in case things go wrong. I've traveled a lot, but it was only 10% of the times that things went a bit pear-shaped, but because I had a folder here, it was eventually resolved.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's so much that goes into it, and we might need I don't know, a whole hour just to go in depth. Some people would ask what would be the better option, going for a travel agency to sort out all those things for you, or doing it yourself. Which one would be the better option? If you're choosing a travel agency, what do you look out for? Because we've heard a lot about travel agencies not really delivering on the various promises that they make to clients. So yeah, I think we need to make time and just go more into
Yes.
detail about it. But
So I think what we'll
again,
do
we've
is
learned a
maybe
lot from you, and yeah.
So, Lilo, just to end off, maybe we should resume our Al
Yes.
Musafir segment. A definite, now that, I mean, travel is back on the agenda, we should do this. But just to end off for people, it's maybe holiday season is coming now with the advent of first term school holidays coming. And if you are thinking of traveling both locally or internationally and that flights, so this is the thing is, uh, if you don't have time, if you really don't have time, then travel agents are there for convenience. They're also experienced in travel. They know, they have established good relationships with hotels, with tour operators, with people that do your transfers. So they did that, and obviously you pay for the service. That's what it is. However, if you have the time and it's your passion, then I mean, to plan a 2 weeks overseas holiday really sometimes takes, especially if it's a touring holiday, takes about, about a month to plan minimum, sometimes 2 months. I mean, I've done many, so I've used both tours. But sometimes what happens is, travel operators and travel agencies bulk buy, so they buy 20 rooms, and because they bulk buy and they have to sell it, the resorts give it to them at a better price, so you can't get it. So last year when I took a trip to Maldives, and it was not with Hello Darlings, another travel agency, the 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 deal I had was, I couldn't match it even if I did it myself. In fact, just the accommodation on that particular category of room was 20,000 rand more than what I paid for it, for flights and tickets and things like that. Fortunately, I went, I came back, everything was, the promise was said, but I asked them, I need it in writing. So the room category was gonna give me an upgrade. I said it needs to state, not upgrade if available. Uh, it must be stated. So everything that was stated on my travel voucher, I received. And then I spoke to the manager, the guest experience manager at the resort, and I asked him, how is it that this particular travel agency had it cheaper than what I could have done? And that's when he explained to me, because they were running a special and they offered it to a few tour operators globally, and they sold them these rooms at this price. That is why I would have not been able to access that had I booked it on one of the booking applications or even directly to the hotel. So it just depends, but do due diligence, check out, book with reputable people, and always ask what are the cancellation policies. And if you're booking with a travel agent and you want to be 100% sure you are staying at that hotel, it costs you nothing to email the hotel directly to say you've booked via this company, this is your name, this is your booking, looking forward to having a stay on these days there and visiting the fine establishment. Because then if you receive that you have not yet been booked, or they haven't received anything from that side, at least before you leave, you've got some recourse to do. So we're going to leave it there. We've I would like to just apologize for our listeners for 5 minutes overtime here, but I think hopefully this will assist our listeners when they booking, uh, that holiday, that yearning, and also a place that they always yearn to go, or go on their bucket list, or tick off that bucket list. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah. I think I'll just leave it to you to wrap up. But it was a really informative segment. Definitely, we'll try and bring back the Al Musafir segment. I'll keep in touch with you. Hopefully, you'll give us your time on Friday nights.
Uh, yes, Salilo, and peace and blessings to all our listeners. We thank you for the privilege of your time in your company. And until next week, may you be under the mercy and blessings of the Almighty.